Hi, I'm Daniel with Plumpy Thimble. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at Dice Kingdoms of Valeria, an upcoming title from Daily Magic Games, who's sponsoring today's video. I'd like to remind you that everything you see here is a prototype and not indicative of the final product. Designed by Levi Moat with art by the Miko and developed by W. David Mackenzie and Isaias Vallejo, Dice Kingdoms of Valeria is a roll and write style game that has players rolling dice and allocating them to different locations on their player board. Each roll of the dice has players allocating citizens to the defense or expansion of the original fantasy kingdom of Valeria. At the beginning of the game, players decide if they are playing with the summer sheets or the winter sheets, and all take a set of whichever is chosen. The set of statue cards are separated by color, shuffled, and then stacked on top of each other. Then 6 cards are drawn face up into a market. The 6 dice are given to the starting player. Each player receives a castle sheet and a map sheet. The castle sheet is broken up into different sections. At the top is the citizens tableau. There are 4 guild tracks corresponding to the citizen icons on the tableau above, a gold chart, a knights on the wall track, and a scoring area. The map sheet consists of a number of paths that players will fill throughout the course of the game. The dice colors correspond to a different type of action taken on a player's turn, with the 2 black harvest dice being used communally on everyone's turn, and the blue die being used as an optional magic die for a modifier. So in this game, there's never a turn that's taken that you aren't a part of. At the start of a turn, the active player rolls all 6 dice. Each player looks at the 2 black harvest dice and reference their citizen tableau. They first check each die individually, and then the sum of the 2 dice together. Whenever one of those numbers corresponds with a number on their tableau that they have either 1 or 2 citizen pips blacked out, they check off that amount of pips on the corresponding guild tracks. For instance, if you're using the summer sheets and you roll a 5 and a 6, each player can mark off those corresponding pips because every player starts with one of those checked off on each of the 5 and the 6. However, if it's the very first turn, no one would be able to use that 11-12 spot because no pips have been filled in yet. Once this has been completed, the active player then chooses one of the remaining non-blue dice to use for the action phase, which will only affect their board. The potential actions they can take are the slay action, the road action, and the recruit action. At any point during the action phase, a player can take that optional blue die and add it to the sum of the whatever action die that they have taken, but it's always optional and never mandatory. Choosing the red die will activate the slay action. Choosing this allows a player to check off the leftmost pip in the range block of a monster region that they currently have access to. These range blocks have to use die that fall within the range listed at the top of them. The first player to completely fill all pips in a monster region circles the higher of the 2 scoring numbers at the end. Any subsequent players to complete this same region on their own map will get the smaller number. In addition, when taking the slay action, players mark 1 pip on the gold chart. Choosing the green die allows a player to take the road action. To do this, mark off the amount listed on the green and, if wanted, the blue die on the road track, starting at either one of the top starting pips, continuing a path already created, or starting at an already claimed domain. It must be used in a single road and the number cannot be split between different paths. When the path reaches one of the oval domains, the player marks that they have claimed that domain and either take the lightning bolt action immediately or note that they have an ongoing effect that can be used during the future action phases. The yellow die corresponds to the recruit action. By choosing this die, a player can mark off a pip on a corresponding citizen in the citizen's tableau, remembering that players can only have a maximum of 2 pips per citizen space. So in doing this, players broaden their opportunity to mark off citizen pips every time that they recruit either a new number or increase the amount on the numbers that they already have. As players mark off pips, they will inevitably be checking bonus spaces. These spaces consist of stars, which equal endgame points, recruit reward pips, which allow recruiting of a citizen, gold rewards, which allow checking off a space on the gold chart, road rewards, which allow checking off a road pip, night rewards, which allow players to check off a pip on the wall, slay rewards, which cause a player to check off the leftmost pip on a monster region you have access to, and a plinth reward, which causes a player to draw from the market of statue cards. These statue cards give various endgame bonuses based on decisions made throughout the course of the game. Once a statue is claimed, a new statue is placed face up in the market. And once a player completes all pips on 3 of their guild tracks, the game ends and the player with the most points wins. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria offers a familiar set of mechanisms for those that know and love roll and write style games. And the mechanisms that it uses allows for very little downtime in between turns. So while the game is simple and easy to explain and set up and play, there's never a point where you feel like you can't do anything. And the opportunity to earn reward pips causes cascades, and the way that you maneuver every single game changes the course of your strategy. And that cascading effect makes it exciting, so that every decision that you make can potentially cause to new and greater rewards as the game goes on. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria is hitting Kickstarter soon. I'll put the link in the description below. And if it looks like something that interests you, I highly recommend you check it out.